I'm so glad I fell asleep through that Mike Tyson fight. Looks like I didn't miss that much.
They're making too much out of that, man. I'm glad to see
About
him
said I was
still.
going. I'm gonna text you my good news.
I'm glad to see him still out there. And he shouldn't retire because niggas don't know who the fuck he is. He's a legend. What boxer is better than Mike Tyson in this day and age? Nobody. Not Jake Paul. And none of these half of these niggas is overrated.
Thank God. I said a hip hop, the hip, the hip. We are entering a new year very soon, y'all. What's good, everybody? I'm doing okay, Q. I just literally got home from work about a couple minutes ago. When I tell you I don't like stupid people, I do not like stupid people. But I can't lose my temper at work.
So you're gonna come on here and curse them out, right?
Nah,
No?
I found better outlets. I only curse out people who disrespect me. Bro, why the fuck am I washing this shit? Like this motherfucker. Q, so I'm listening to slow jam music right now. Okay. Okay. What up, Goddess? How you doing? I think Dre and Snoop are going to be on Drink Champs the next episode.
Yep.
That's going to be an episode I'll probably see. Hopefully, Nori can shut the fuck up from motherfucking talking.
I can't watch that nigga no more. He talk way too much.
For real, man. Like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Damn. Laughing ass nigga. Ugh. Inspector Gadget. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Shout out to my homeboy AJ. He's feeling much better from his sickness. Also, shout out to my other homeboy Semi. Oh yeah, TT. Fucking Joe Budden saying that Thriller was trash. This nigga. Yeah, but Pump It Up was genius, right? Pump It Up wasn't trash, right? Okay. These niggas will go on the internet just saying these stupid shit.
That's why I don't pay attention to them.
Sometimes he'll say some good shit, but sometimes it will just be like, why you even have a podcast, bro? Actually, yeah. Actually, sometimes that's why I said sometimes I don't even mind watching Vlad sometimes. Cause he let the motherfucker talk and shit.
Yeah.
Nori just talk over your ass. Oh wow, the Cosby Show's on. Okay. Are you are you going to see that Wicked movie or not?
Hell no.
Yeah, me neither. Everyone just keeps talking about like it's fucking Grease or some shit.
Right? They ain't got nothing else better to watch. You know, hyping up overrated films and shit.
Right. I never even got the point of Wicked. I remember when it came to Broadway a couple months ago, all these white people just started making a huge deal out of it. I'm looking at myself like Wicked, like the Wicked Witch of the East, or like the Wizard of Oz, some shit.
Not every Broadway play need to be a movie.
That is true. That is true indeed. How much done? About 4 more minutes. If I see this Anthony Mackie trailer one more fucking time, why do they keep casting these motherfuckers? They just cast this motherfucker for everything. Jesus Christ. So, people making a big deal about the whole Denzel having a gay kiss scrapped from that Gladiator movie.
And why is that news?
Exactly. What would that change as a person?
It ain't gonna change nothing if this movie is shitty. It's gonna be a shitty movie with a gay Denzel scene in it. That's all.
I heard it was actually a good movie though. I might see that shit.
Russell Crowe ain't in it. I don't care to see it.
But if Tom Cruise would have done that shit, he would be a hero, right? People are so asinine. Alrighty. I'm ready to start whenever you
Let's go.
are. What's up, you two? How's everybody doing? It's your boy Reggie in the building. I got my homeboy Try with me. How you doing?
Yeah, chilling.
Yes, sir. So the album anniversary I'm going to do today is LL Cool J with his very first album, Radio. Um, yes, y'all, I got the vinyl of it. Just to let y'all know. Um, this album came out November 17th, 19. Well, excuse me, November 18th, 1985. It's actually the first album that ever came out, Def Jam Records. You know what I'm saying? So before Mama Said Knock You Out, before I Need Love, before he was doing it, before all that, he was just a nigga with the radio, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy too because it was just like the first song to actually come out of Def Jam was "It's Yours" by T La Rock and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much, you know what I'm saying? You know, he got his new stage name LL Cool J, hooked up with Rick and Russell, and then he signed a deal with Def Jam. He dropped his first song called "I Need a Beat." You know what I'm saying? Just a typical b-boy kind of joint and everything like that too. Excuse me. Um, yeah, man. And then we all know he did his first appearance on Crush Groove. He was only there for like maybe like a couple seconds, and he did the whole "I Can't Live Without My Radio," and that just broke him out and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to hip hop, really the first solo superstar was LL Cool J. Well, I would say Curtis Blow then LL and shit like that. And this album the fresh, definitely represented the fresh take of like hip hop at the time and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Minimalistic beats, braggadocio rhymes, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have songs like "Dear Yvette." I love that record. Yvette, Dear Yvette. That was my joint. "Rock the Bells." You know what I'm saying? Which that song kind of caused some controversy and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because that song kind of got him beef with MC Shan. Because the story goes was that Shan felt that the song of "Rock the Bells" pretty much bit from one of his other songs and shit. And so he did a song called "Beat Biter" where he actually threw shots at LL Cool J and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So I think I talked about that in the past, but just throwing it out there. You have "I Can't Live Without My Radio," nice way to kick off the album. The Soul Train performance of that track, of that song, iconic. I love that one. You actually technically have the first experimentation of a love song with "I Want You." You know what I'm saying? Which that's probably my least favorite track on the album, to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this album is a hip hop classic to many people. Is it his best album? I mean, I'm more of a Mama to knock you out kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like this album really is like his most important album in his discography and shit. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you was to get this album, get the vinyl version of this album just because of the sound quality and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts on this album?
It was cool. It's a good album. You know, I knew the beat was everywhere and radio was everywhere. You know, Dave Vet. That was a lot of people love that song. You know, it's not
Right.
one of my favorites though, but it was good.
Yeah. Like honestly, I like Bigger and Deffer more than this one. To be real with you,
Yeah,
I'm saying I mean, Bigger and because I saw a post that said, "Oh, Bigger and Deffer was trash." I was like, "Fuck that!" They only focus on "I Need Love" and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which that's actually my least favorite song on Bigger and Deffer. Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, LL Cool J's Radio. I mean, this should be owned by at least every hip hop head, in my opinion. If you don't own this album, I don't know what to tell you. All right, now for the main event, we want to talk about Prince with the Rainbow Children. Yes, we're getting back to the Prince reviews. This is actually his 24th studio album. That's crazy. 24 albums. That's crazy. This came out November 20th, 2001. Pretty much we're 2 days shy of his anniversary. Wow. Okay. Interesting. It only came out with one single called "The Work Part One." This was entirely produced by Prince. Um, he pretty much did all of the instruments on this album. He had some help from this girl named Najee, who plays soprano saxophone and flute. Larry Graham from Sly and the Family Stone, he contributed some bass. And John Blackwell, who did some drums and cowboy and some Roland V drums. All right, so we don't even have to tell motherfuckers who Prince is, to be real with you. If you don't know, I don't know what to tell you and shit, you know. But we've done pretty much everything. I think the last full Prince review we did was the Raven 2 album and stuff like that too. So right after the release of that album, Prince pretty much, was going through a lot with his life and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? His marriage ended with Maya T. He got a divorce in 2000 and stuff like that. And he pretty much started dating this other girl named Manuela Testolini, who was like a businesswoman and shit like that too. And they pretty much married privately. They married privately in 2001. Also, the most important thing that happened around this time was the fact that he started calling himself Prince again because y'all know he went by the symbol, the love symbol artist. Well, he never called himself the artist formerly known as Prince. That's what we called him and shit like that too. And he pretty much went back to calling himself Prince, after the whole contract with Warner Brothers concluded and everything like that too. And so um he did like a whole press conference and everything like that. And he wanted to actually get more into experimentation, get back to doing the music that he actually loves. However, around this time too, he started being friends with Larry Graham. And Larry Graham, yeah, like I mentioned, he was the bassist of Sly and the Family Stone. One of my favorite funk groups of all time, and everything like that. And pretty much, he was also a Jehovah's Witness because he converted. I think he converted like around the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? And yes, Larry Graham is the half brother to Dennis Graham, who was actually the Drake's uncle and shit like that too, which you guys should know and stuff. So yeah, no, yeah, he became a Jehovah's Witness in like 1975 and stuff like that too. So, and no, he was one of the main reasons why he made Prince convert, not made, but he influenced Prince to become a Jehovah's Witness. And pretty much, Prince was really like doing the Jehovah's Witness work. Like there were stories that he would dress up in disguise and go door to door telling people about the word of God and stuff like that too. Like, yeah, Prince. And pretty much
He should have dressed up in disguise for this the fucking album. Don't even put your fucking name on this shit.
oh my god, try. And so what ended up happening was the fact that he started working on his next album called The Rainbow Children. Now, before I get into wait, I didn't even show y'all the album and stuff. Hold on.
It's not needed. It's not needed.
I actually got the album. I forgot I got the album.
The album is not needed for you to show. It's not a gem.
So before I start, we're
Yes,
gonna have
you
to talk.
bought
Yeah.
Wow. Wasted money.
Hey, this is a hard album to come by. Before he died, it was like expensive.
You could send that to me now and I won't play it. So it'll just be a hard album to play.
So as I was saying, we have to talk about the elephant in the room and everything. So when it comes to Prince in the 2000s, a lot of the diehard Prince fans have a lot of mixed feelings and shit like that too, because of the fact that, well, Prince wasn't doing like the crazy shit he was doing and stuff like that. That's, with him becoming Jehovah's Witness, he didn't really curse a lot in his music. He wasn't really talking about sex in his music. He definitely was trying to be more spiritual, be more positive and whatnot too. And a lot of fans over the years have kind of hated Larry Graham. Like a lot of diehard Prince fans kind of talk shit about Larry Graham, talking about, oh, well, he made Prince a Jehovah's Witness.
Larry Graham is not the issue with this album. That's for sure.
Thank you. And stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because granted, we had albums like Musicology, 3121. Like, if you're a diehard Prince fan and you like Christmas 2000s and you don't care for the whole jazzy shit, then I would recommend you guys coming back when we do Musicology and shit like that too. Also, too, I know Prince dropped hella albums in the 2000s. We're not really going to do reviews on every album in 2000s. There's going to be some stop and go albums where it's not really that much to talk about. But I'm just going to say, well, this album is such and such. Might describe my favorite tracks and say, I like it. Like some brief thoughts on it. What else? What else? It's pretty much gonna be 10 weeks of Prince
Oh Lord,
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna need some liquor for this. 10 weeks of mediocre Prince.
Hey, you said I'm ready to talk about Prince. We should have been
I am,
talking
but
about.
I didn't. I know not all of his shit is gonna be good. That's for damn sure.
I,
This
I
shit
know
is not
that
good.
too.
This shit is not
I
good.
know that. I'm actually kind of happy we're talking about this because
You are?
not a lot of people talk about 2000 Prince like that,
There's a reason for that.
and
There's a
I feel
reason.
like it'll be something different because if I can do everything in Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson,
Michael was
and
different. He had a better
Michael
discography.
was different. Yes, Michael was different. But if we can do all the hell, we did literally a lot of Mariah Carey albums and shit and
The
stuff
good
like
stuff.
that.
The good shit.
The good shit.
Yeah.
The good shit. You know what I'm saying? So this might be a challenge and shit because I already know I'm not gonna like every album we're gonna talk about. I already know
Yeah.
that. Because like I said, I'm a Prince fan, but I'm an honest Prince fan. I'm not like one of these Fugazi Prince fans. I'd be like, oh, everything Prince did was great and everything like that too.
Mm-hmm.
No. And I'll probably throw in Welcome to America because that's technically he did work on that album and stuff. I might throw in
He
that
did.
somehow.
He did the album. The tour was ready, and then he scrapped the tour.
Yeah. So okay, so that came out 2010.
And that was
What else?
actually a good album that I have. Way better than this shit.
So that was supposed to come out in 2010. Okay. So we'll probably squeeze that in there with the 2010 album. So we'll work that out because I forgot about Welcome to America until you mentioned it. But yeah, man. But yeah, so when it comes to like the Prince albums of 2000s, the one that always gets the mixed reception is this album right here. And the thing about it was this was like 2000 to 2003 is what I like to call Prince's jazzy era, where he was just doing like the jazz and shit like that, like the neo soul in a way. Um, I'm just now opening this album and shit, just letting y'all know.
I don't blame you. Open it and then burn it. Do a lot of burning on here. Something different that we don't see. A lot of burning.
Oh, I'll do that to a Justin Timberlake album. So
Right.
damn, man. That's what I got. That's why I hate these digipacks. They take so fucking long to open and shit. Like, come on, man. Well, I'm doing that. So yeah, man. So this is actually the first time I heard this album in years, too. You know what I'm saying? Because usually this album is actually one of his more rarer albums and stuff like that, too. You know what I'm saying? Because even when this album came out back in 2001, it really didn't really, there wasn't really like a lot of physical copies made because at the time he had his website and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of this material you can have to get through his website and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And even Prince said he didn't want a lot of pressed copies of it. So so this is the album cover right here. Just to let you guys know, I got the 2020 reissue. This is the 2020 reissue of this album and stuff. So yeah, so this is what the CD looks like. I don't like the CD. I don't like how they did his face and shit like that. It looks like something
That's his
from
face.
Gorillas. It looked like they tried to make it like Gorillas or some shit. Trying to get the booklet out, but yeah. So this is pictures of Prince. Hey, this is a 2000, so we still got lyrics in the booklet
Oh wow.
and everything like that too. So yeah, man. Like I said, I'm grateful I got this album anyway, just because this album goes for. I think I got this in Barnes and Noble. I think one of them stores. But this is like around the time when Prince died, and every store wanted to carry all this fucking albums that they weren't carrying when he was alive and shit. You know what I'm saying? So just being honest. Not to, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the Prince albums I got in my collection, I didn't get a lot of them until after he died. So, but that doesn't mean I heard them at around the time he died and shit. That makes sense. But yeah, All right, so let me pull up my notes. You know what I'm saying? So yep, we're gonna listen to the word from Prince. And just to let you guys know, since Prince is the Jehovah's Witness, I'm gonna try to have literally all the Prince albums be on Sundays and stuff like that too. Unless if it's like a new album that's like, okay, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this in the weekend and shit like that. Like, there's a slight chance the Dre and Snoop album may be on a Sunday. There's slight chance.
Something I'm
Depending.
excited to talk about compared to this.
Well, hopefully that Dre and Snoop album's good and shit. So yeah. Oh, we're talking about Prince and Linkin Park and shit. So I know you gotta be happy and stuff.
Wow.
Alright. So this album on paper, it says it has like 21 songs on this album. That's a fucking lie. Pretty much the track 15 to 21, they're all hidden tracks. So technically this album has like 14 tracks. We're just going to talk about the 14 tracks and shit like that. I don't know why he does that shit. I don't know why these people can just put the damn track listing.
You didn't want people to hear the album. That's
everybody wants to be different and stuff like that. I swear. Okay. All right, so we're going to start off with the first track called the title track and shit like that. I admit this one's a bit long for my taste, but I love this track. It just talks about his version of like a utopia. It's kind of like a 2000s equivalent to Pop Life, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope track and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just talking about his utopia, what will make a perfect world and everything. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Some of the lyrics on this album can be a bit cheesy at times, but he's trying to change and shit. Prince has found God, found the word, whatever.
way too long. 10-minute opening track, way too long to start off that album.
Right.
That should have been saved for like the last track, not opening track. You're already boring me. Nope, I ain't care for it.
It's not. You're already boring me.
Yeah, a 10-minute track to start off the album. No, you fucked up on the sequencing already.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Track number 2, we got Muse to the Pharaoh. Vocally, I do like this track vocally and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about throwing in the Bible verses and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Some of the lyrics can be a bit too abstractual and shit, but this is a pretty decent track. I'll fuck with it.
This was decent. Melodic. It was jazzy. He's rapping on here too. He said, "Take a load off, sweet darling. Let me run the agenda through your hair. There's so much information for the next generation. Who's gonna drop it if you're not there?" So he's rapping. He's rapping over a jazz type of track, which I don't remember ever hearing him do. But it was cool. It was alright.
Right. All right. Track number 3. Give me 1 second. We got his Digital Garden. Love this record right here. Very, very, very dope beat. It has like a very organic kind of flavor mixed in with like the computer kind of funk and shit like that. This might be like one of them few funkier tracks from this album and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not a bad track and everything. Not bad at all.
I didn't like it.
You said you didn't like it?
That annoying drowned out voice wasn't needed on the album, and it's all over this album. I ain't care for it. And the title sucks. Digital Garden. Come on now. Come on, Prince.
Oh, funny. Alright, next song is The Work Part 1. This was a single from the album that was pretty much a homage to James Brown. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope track. You know what I'm saying? One of the better tracks on this album and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because James Brown definitely one of his influences, well, his main influence. But the B side to the single, "You Make My Sunshine" with Angie Stone. Oh my God, that joint right there. So that's actually if that's actually on the Chocolate Invasion album because he was actually supposed to have done an album in another album in 2001. I think it was supposed to be called like High and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And this was like a more R&B album and stuff like that. He had songs like "You Make My Sunshine." He did a cover of the Staple Singers. I think "When Will We Be Paid" and stuff like that too. I heard some joints from this one. This one was pretty cool, but Prince. He always does some shit then unreleased just because he feel like it's not good and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a different day. So that's The Work Part One. Pretty cool.
It was like a funky track, you know. It was part 2.
hmm Unreleased probably.
Yeah.
All right. Next track we got is Everywhere. Um, Another pretty cool song right here. One of my probably one of my favorites of this album and shit. You know what I'm saying? But this track right here, he's definitely he has a featured guest called Millennia and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about how he was lost his way and how God was able to help him out and everything like that too, and God provided him some guidance and shit. So this joint right here is pretty cool. It's definitely a very great song. Songwriting wise, is one of the best songs on this album too. So
It was alright.
definitely. All right, track number 6, "The Sensual Ever After." Um, I could have done without. This was like a little instrumental and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I could have done without this one.
That annoying voice was on it too.
Yeah, that fake Midnight Marauders deep
Yeah.
voice. Yeah, man. After that, we got Mellow, which this one right here is actually a pretty great track, but I wouldn't really call it anything incredible. It's like something you kind of hear like in a lyricist lounge, a jazz club, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this one was pretty cool. I like the production of this one.
This one was good. I like the production was good. Had like a smooth jazz, sound to it. Come on and get lost in the mellow. This should have been released as a single compared to the work.
I agree.
I think Mellow was better.
Yeah, the work was cool, but I don't really see that as a single.
Right.
Stuff
Not a
like that.
first single at least.
Yeah. All right. Next joint. 1+1+1 is 3. Possibly my favorite track on this album and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? One thing I liked about this track is probably the only song on this album I can honestly say is a vintage Prince song, like the playful lyrics. Because Prince,
Mhm.
he always loves to play around with numbers and stuff like that. Love to the 9, 7, and so on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this definitely is like a vintage Prince, like with a 2000s twist, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one of my all-time favorites from this album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a must listen to.
It was good. So like the beat to it, the background vocals, minus that annoying voice again on there, but the music was good.
Right. All right. After 1+1+1 is 3, we're gonna get into deconstruction. Um, that's annoying voice comes back again, and I could care less for this.
Yeah, I like it.
Definitely. Track number 10, Wedding Feast. The worst track on this album, to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the fuck this was. The annoying voice came,
Right.
and he had like this Harry Potter s kind of beat and shit like that too, which I don't fucking love.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I didn't like this track.
And it was like a skit too. It was short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a skit fighting so hard to be a song, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
Alright, and next track is She Loves Me for Me. I want to like this song, I really do, but it's a bit too simple for Prince taste and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the chorus is kind of annoying and everything, but the beat makes up for it.
I actually like it. I just thought it was kind of short though. It should have been a single, But it's like a mid-tempo, ballad. Something
Right,
like Prince would do.
especially around this time too.
Yeah.
All right, next track, Family Name. Another song I kind of felt was a bit too long for my taste. You know what I'm saying? Not a bad track, but it was just like 8 minutes. I mean, I don't mind long. I don't mind if a song is long, but there has to be something that can keep my attention and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely not one of them.
I mean, the track was. I mean, the actual music was good. The background vocals. At the end of the track, there's like a MLK, free at last clip from his speech. I don't know why a lot of these songs are long. I don't feel like they need to be long though.
Right.
You could have covered this song in like 4 minutes or 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, it was okay. I just feel like some of these songs are just too long.
Yeah, we'll talk about that once the album's over and shit. Um, with the review's over. Excuse me. All right, next song, The Everlasting Now. Um, Not really a fan of this one either, to be real with you.
I like it. I like it was funky. The beat, the horns on it, the bass line. This is like vintage Prince. He's saying don't no matter how much money you made, all the cars you got, and all the women you laid. You mess with the flag, and to them you're still a slave. So I feel like he's talking to like big name rap artists on this one, without saying nobody's name or whatever. And it was decent.
Yeah, so pretty much he's like talking about how motherfuckers use materialism just for their own selfish gain. If
Right.
that makes sense. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like that. I mean, he was against. I mean, even for his status, he was like. I felt like he didn't really care about all that stuff. It was just about putting his music out there and wanting to be heard or whatever. You know.
Definitely. Kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of that song "Dead on It" a little bit, like in terms of concept from the Black Album. If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Track number 14 and the last track that I'm gonna count is "Last December." This one right here, I love this track. The gospel feel was what really made this track work and everything like that too. Pretty much, he's talking about like if you had your last December, how would you spend it, and how would you reflect it in your life and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, love this track. The beat was pretty great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, must listen.
I like the beat for this. The guitar playing on here and background vocals. It was good.
Definitely. All right. Overall, like I mentioned, this is a very, very, very this is a very, very, very hard album to like. But also, this is a very hard album to dislike too, in my opinion. And the reason why I say this is because of this. Now, when it comes to Prince, the first thing we think about is cheeky lyrics, you know what I'm saying, socially conscious, you know, outlandish style and everything. By the time he came into 2000s, he was already reaching probably like his third full decade of music. And a lot of people pretty much, you know, would kind of say that he was washed up at this time too, which we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. You know what I'm saying? But in a weird way, with this album right here, I would never start if you just getting into Prince. I would never listen to this album first and stuff. But at the same time, if you're an expert on Prince's music and you heard about 5 albums from him, maybe 6 albums from him so far, then this definitely is a great album to listen to. So I can't fully hate on this album because you know he was definitely trying to do more positive lyrics with the Jehovah's Witness and everything like that too. But the thing that I really would, the thing that I really would critique would be why the sequencing and everything like that too, and also certain songs being longer than it should be, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? The instrumentation on this album is great. I love the instrumentation on this album. And you know, Prince doing the majority of the instruments too is always a plus because you know a lot of albums like he done in the past, he done most of the instruments and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So overall, I would give this a 3.5 out of 5 and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not his best album in the 2000s, but at the same time, it's great that he's actually doing. You can tell he's enjoying himself doing music. So I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. You know, just borderline. If that makes sense.
There's like a couple decent tracks, maybe 3 or 4, but I think the rest of the shit was garbage. I don't like that annoying voice that he had all over the album. It wasn't needed for the album. You know, I don't feel like the whatever label he was on at that time, they didn't promote this album. They just released one song, and that really shouldn't have been a single. You know, or at least a first single. So I'm giving it 2 mics. I didn't like it. It's not something I'll go back to and play. You know, this is a skip for me.
Yeah. And like I said, your rating is pretty accurate because like a lot of diehard Prince fans do not like this album.
I mean, can you blame them? I grew up in the era of Prince in '83 and '84. You know what I'm
But
saying? That
here's
was my introduction to him when Purple Rain came out. So you're not topping Purple Rain with this shit.
but the thing is, they don't dislike it because of like the music. They dislike him really because he became a Jehovah's Witness.
No, I'm not even talking about that. He could have been a born again virgin. I don't think the music lives up to his other classics.
Yeah,
And I talked about Rave. What was that like last year? Rave was a better album than this.
I agree.
And that was on what, Arista?
Arista, yes.
And they promoted that. They had big billboards in Times Square. I seen it. He was all over MTV and Good Morning America. That was a better album than this.
Yeah, I agree. I love the Rave album.
Musicology. He got a Grammy nomination for that. That was a better album than this.
I love Musicology too.
I just don't think it was good. I don't care what religion he was, and it had nothing to do with the album. They blaming Larry Graham had nothing to do with the album being bad.
He didn't, and that's another unfair. And I feel like I love your opinion on it because you actually broke it down with the music. But I hate how motherfuckers will say blame Larry Graham. They will blame everything and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
But what does Larry Graham? Did Larry Graham produce the album?
No.
So what does he have to do with the album being bad though? I don't get it.
Because he was the one that made Prince a Jehovah's Witness or influenced him. Let me not say made him. I would say he influenced Prince to become a Jehovah's Witness. And
Okay.
a lot of the diehard Prince fans, they would talk mad junk about Larry Graham. Like it
Michael
was a
Michael Jackson was a Jehovah's Witness. He didn't have no problem coming out with classics every time. So that's not an issue. The music is in itself is what we're talking about. The music was bad. That's why a
right,
lot of diehard fans of Prince, like myself, don't care for the album.
yeah.
You know, simple as that.
Like it's to me, I would listen to it once in the blue. It's an acquired taste, but if I want to listen to 2000s Prince, I'll mostly go to Musicology, 3121. Hell, I'll even go to Planet Earth before I go to the Rainbow Children, which I feel like Planet Earth is very underrated. We'll talk about that when we talk about it. Because a lot of niggas hate on that one too. I'm just like, y'all hate on Planet Earth? What? Fuck out of here. But yeah, okay. So now we're gonna get into our top 10 Prince samples. Now, I originally was not really gonna do a list like this because we already got the top 10 Prince B sides coming up later on this month and stuff like that. Hopefully later on this month. I just gotta talk to Ant. But we had a good time with the Quincy Jones one last week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, let's do Prince because Prince has some heat when it comes to sampling too and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? TT said you can listen to the high tracks all the yeah. We'll talk about those tracks once we get to Chocolate Invasion Slaughterhouse. We'll talk about them, but yeah, man. My number 10. This one was probably one of the more famous Prince samples. Is Alphabet Street that was sampled in Arrested Development's Tennessee. Now, with this song right here, this was definitely one of the more known Prince samples, but they're not sampling a bass, they're not sampling a horn, they're not doing any of those samples. They're pretty much just sampled the part where Prince said Tennessee. It's like Tennessee, Tennessee. That's literally the sample right there. And they actually had to pay Prince a good penny for that sample, if I'm not mistaken. I think they paid him like $100,000 for that sample and stuff like that too. Saying, and it's crazy because he actually asked for a single payment instead of a co-writing credit and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like he just did that because they didn't really sample any of the instrumentation. They just sampled the word Tennessee and stuff like that too. Which that's generous in Prince standards because when it comes to Prince and samples, there's always some crazy story like, oh, Prince had asked for this motherfucker's arm just for the sample or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean Tennessee from Arrested Development, and I think I do got that 3 years, 5 months, and 2 days out.
Classic
That's
album.
classic. I don't give a damn what no one says.
Even
Y'all
like
can
the
talk
new one
about
that dropped this year with Configure. Shout out to Configure. The new
right.
one
I need to.
that came out, that shit was fire.
Yeah, honestly, I even like the Zinga Mundi album too. If I'm saying it right, I even like that album.
Yeah,
That one's so underrated. Now, granted, it was some songs was way too preachy, which we'll talk about that. But yeah, but to me, 3 years, 5 months, and 2 days will always be the magnum opus to me.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that too. We have to talk, and mind you, that was like one of the first cats to come from Atlanta. Y'all forget before Outkast, before all these Atlanta cats, it was Arrested Development. But
it was them and Crisscross.
Them and Crisscross. But even with Crisscross too, they get their just due and stuff like that too, because the Jermaine Dupri train and stuff.
Well deserved. They did their thing.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, we'll talk about Arrested Development at some point though, But yeah, that's my number 10.
Number 10 for me is Nice and Smooth. The Sky's the Limit from Jeweler Now, 1994. It sampled I Want to Be a Lover on the self-titled. Shout out to BJ. BJ actually sent me that on vinyl during the pandemic. Classic album. That's always been one of my favorite Nice and Smooth songs on Jeweler Now, and I think Greg Nice had produced that. Just a dope track. Prince allowing them to even sample one of his songs was just dope to hear. You know what I'm saying? you know, and they both killed it, definitely.
You know, I have a nice and smooth track on
Okay,
this list, surprisingly, because you know how I feel
another
about
one.
nice. Yeah, but I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, it's gonna be further
Uh,
up. All right. Next number 9. This is one of my all-time favorites. Princess, If I Was Your Girlfriend, sampled for Mobb Deep's Young Love.
that's
Now,
on my list too.
yeah. Now, this was supposed to have been on Hell on Earth, but I'm kind of I love Young Love. I
Hmm.
love this song, but I'm kind of grateful it was not on Hell on Earth
You don't fit.
because Hell on, yeah, it didn't fit.
Yeah,
To me, I feel like it could have been a B side. It could have been a dope B side and shit like that too. Because
right.
Mobb Deep, the closest love songs they did, it was like Trife Life and more Trife Life.
Hit it from the back from a Juvenile Hell.
I wouldn't call that a love song, but
I
I see what
mean,
you
it's
said.
a sex song. I mean, they needed a sex song on Hell on Earth, but that's probably why the labeling put it on there.
Yeah,
You know,
but it's kind of crazy too because the way how they flipped that sample and stuff, like they pretty much just took like the main hook,
right?
but Havoc, see those signature Havoc drums, man. Oh
Hmm.
my god, to me, Havoc has the best drum pattern in hip hop history. I'm gonna be real with you.
Right.
Like everyone tried to duplicate his fucking drums, but
Hmm.
interesting Prince story when it comes to Mobb Deep, and they actually did a song with Mobb Deep called he actually did a song called Thou Shalt Not Kill,
Hmm.
which I think that was recorded in 98, 99. That was supposed to have been on Murder Music.
Yeah,
And Prince literally just came in, played the keyboards, and he walked out without saying shit.
that was on the mixtapes when
Yeah.
I
Yep.
heard it on the mixtapes back then.
Yeah, man. That's a dope story.
That's
Cause
crazy.
Prince don't really I mean he messed with rappers, like he fucked with Public Enemy, of course.
Hmm.
He did some shit with Kane, you know
Money
what I'm
Love.
saying? Moni Love too, yeah.
Hmm.
But Mob Deep though, you know what I'm saying? Like, mind you, this was a cat that didn't even let Snoop sample his music and shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, but that's my number 9.
Number 9, I got Arrested Development, another one that they did, Evil Reality,
What?
and it samples New Position from the Parade album. Um, I don't
Oh,
remember that song. I don't know if is it on the second album or is this
I think
unreleased?
that I think that's on them. I want to say that's a B side, either a B side or on the second album.
Okay,
I want
I
to
don't I
say,
don't remember hearing it, but he sampled something from the Parade album. You know, I gotta hear it. I ain't even hear it.
yo, the Parade album got brought out a lot of dope samples for a lot of people and shit.
Hmm.
But yet we don't have a fucking parade of issue and shit like that because everyone wants to be issued purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Let me stop. Number 8, Prince with Starfish and Coffee. That was sampled for Nice and Smooth, No Delaying. That's from their first album. Um, yeah, Nice and Smooth, man. Like I said, they were an acquired taste to me. I know you're more of a fan of Nice and Smooth than me, but the way how they flipped the sample, I mean, the No Delaying sample and stuff like that too, it definitely fitted. It definitely fit Nice and Smooth. You know what I'm saying? That ding, 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 ding. Every time I hear that song, I'm not gonna hold you. I always think about this movie Dead Poet Society because whenever I hear that song Starfish and Coffee, I just picture myself in a boarding school or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Weird thought.
Number, number 8, we got Big Daddy Kane, Driving Under Work. Sample Let's Work from the Controversy album. Another album that I got from BJ. Shout out to BJ for that.
BJ.
Yeah, I should have told BJ that we were doing this because I know he loves Prince as well. Yeah, Kane sampled that song from that album, and I was fired with. I think that was on Taste of Chocolate, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was on Just Chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah. That was dope. Definitely a dope cut by Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, definitely. Dope. My number 7 is The Time. This is actually the only artist that Prince produced for on this list. Gigolos Get Lonely 2.
My
That
song.
was used for. You said what?
That's my song.
Yeah, that's my song too. That was used for Above the Lost California. That came from the Uncle Sam's Curse album. Very dope album. I need to get my hands on that, but that album's so expensive these days. It kind of goes up and down in price, but now a lot of cats have used Gigolos Get Lonely too, but Above the Law, Above the Law is definitely one of the more prominent motherfuckers to use that shit. You know what I'm saying? California, that's always been my joint when it gets Uncle Sam's Curse. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice little G Funk kind of song listening in the summertime. So that's my pick for number 7. Yeah, number 7.
And 7 is De La Soul, Keeping the Faith. Last song on De La Soul is Dead. And that sampled DMSR from 1999. Great closing track for that album, classic album from De La Soul. They have a video for it also that was released, and the beat was fire. The way they hooked up the sample, everything.
Yeah, that almost made my list too. That's crazy.
Mhm.
All right, my number 6. Oh, this one is the classic. Prince, She's Always in My Hair was used for Esham's Make Me Wanna Holler. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. There's actually another song that uses this sample that's gonna be on this list too, but I'm gonna save that one for later because that one's gonna be a doozy. The reason why I put this one on number 6 because the way how they used it and they added the vocal sample and Closed Casket has always been my favorite Esham solo album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had like a lot of like G Funk, horrorcore kind of production on this one. And the way how he flipped that, she's always in my hair symbol, sped up the tempo, adding in that funky ass bass line, and then the chorus. I mean, whenever I feel like giving up, and my sunshine turns to rain. I mean, whoo! She's always in my hair. That's always been one of the best Prince tracks ever that ever came out. And that was the B side to Raspberry Beret and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get the hits and B sides, y'all. If you're a Prince fan, get the hits and B sides. That's the collection you need to get. Don't just stick to the fucking albums and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't for Prince made me want to get like fucking singles to just hunt down what B sides and remixes and shit like that came from the tracks and stuff. Yeah.
That was classic.
I know.
Number 6 is Dr. Dre and RC, Sexy Dance. So he sampled Sexy Dancer from the title Prince album, self-titled Prince album. That was dope. Dope beat by Dr. Dre.
And
RC, we still ain't hear from RC.
And you know that came from what compilation did that come from, Try?
Oh, that terrible compilation, the Aftermath shit.
Yeah, the Possessor Aftermath. Hell yeah. Some of Dre's best beats on that album. I keep telling motherfuckers this. Like, but yeah, man. Yeah, where RC at right now? Number 5, Prince. It's Gonna Be Lonely, used for Kanye West Big Brother. Man, Kanye picked the right samples for Graduation. Like, let me tell you, he picked the right samples. Like, Big Brother, the tribute to Jay-Z and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? My big brother was Big's brother. Used to be Dame and Big's brother. Who was hip hop? I mean, oh my God. Back when Kanye had sense and he was sane. Oh my God. But yeah, It's Gonna Be Lonely. That came from the second Prince album, the self-titled Prince album and shit like that, which classic album. I don't give a fuck what no one say. That was when Prince was breaking out and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, classic sample.
Number 5 is Cameron, Diamonds and Pearls. He sampled it. The title track was unreleased. I think that was gonna be on Purple Haze. It was dope. Dope song. Cam was in his bag on that.
Facts. Yeah, man. That's a dope joint right there too. All right. I'm gonna surprise you with this one. Try my number 4, Prince. I Wonder You, used for D'Angelo's Africa. Now,
That was dope.
I love this. I love this track. So you guys should know the story when it comes to Parade. Was like when they were recording the drum sequence and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They did the whole same drum pattern. They used that for Christopher Tracy's Parade, New Position, and I Wonder You. I felt like the drums was definitely best used for I Wonder You. You know what I'm saying? Like dun 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 dee 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 dee. I heard he say. I mean, that was always my fucking joint, boy. I wish that song was longer, man. Come on, man. That song was perfect as fucking in the flutes, but I'm getting besides the point. And literally, when D'Angelo and Questlove were working on this album, the Voodoo album, they listened to a lot of the Parade album because that whole organic feel and shit, like that whole jazzy organic feel and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And they borrowed those drums and everything, and they made the classic Africa track. You know what I'm saying? I mean, oh my god, B, like it kills me. Like I said, we don't have a Parade. Niggas don't talk about Parade like that, But hey, fuck it. It came out with a bad movie. I know the movie was bad, but come on.
Yep. All right. Number 4, we got Lauryn Hill, Final Hour. One of my favorites on Miss Education, and it samples 1999. Lauren definitely killed it. Her the rapping on that was fire. The beat, everything. That should have been released as a single too.
You said what? What's the song called?
Final Hour.
I gotta re-listen to that one. I didn't. Wow, I didn't realize that was a Prince. Hmm. I don't know. It's just like I haven't heard Miseducation in years though, because I'm not gonna lie. Everyone claimed they love that album and shit. But I still fuck with Miseducation. Yeah. My number 3 is a tie. Prince Do Me Baby, used for Machiavelli to Live or Die in L.A. and Moke and Steph, He's Mine. Two different songs. One of them is the classic hip hop track that shows love for California. The other one is pretty much a side chick anthem. And I'm not gonna hold you. I love both songs for usage of that sample. Now, the one I feel like used the sample the best, believe it or not, I kind of like the way Moke and Steph used it. How they slowed it down, added a little like effect, the synth effects on that shit too. You know what I'm saying? The song is ratchet as fuck. I'm gonna be real with you. The song is definitely ratchet as fuck. But sometimes I'm not gonna hold. I love listening to that fucking beat. I like to listen to that song for that beat. But the way how Pac used it too, he sped it up a little bit. Like that's a kind of track where you can just drive around the California sunset.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just going down Sunset Boulevard or some bullshit. Not just even California, just like when you're out in the beach too, just vibing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then the great Val Young adding her vocals on it too was what really made the song stick like syrup, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I just said that because I haven't had pancakes in a while.
Number 3, I got Tupac with Pac's Life, unreleased.
Mm.
Sample Pop Life from Around the World in a Day. Great song. I mean, basically just took the whole beat and just rapped over it, you know. But I definitely enjoyed it, and that was on like one, you know, the Machiavelli bootlegs. You know, definitely was great. One of my favorites.
Yeah, that Pops life, man. I mean, I even like the way how Ja Rule even used that sample too.
Hmm. Right.
All right, my number two. This is Prince. She's always in my hair. This time it was used for Digital Underground Sex Packets. The title track from their first album. Classic joint. This actually, if I'm not mistaken, one of my favorites from that album. You know, the way they slowed the sample down made it like a more neo psychedelic kind of vibe and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that joint has always been one of my favorites. So, shout out to Digital Underground, rest in peace, to Shock G.
I got number two. I got Jay Z. Excuse me, Miss. Sampled "Walk Don't Walk" from Diamonds and Pearls. Okay song. I still feel like Snoop should have had that instead, though. You know.
Hmm. Okay. All right, and my number one, Prince, "Let's Go Crazy," used for Public Enemy's "Brothers Gonna Work It Out." Now, I love the Bomb Squad, but they use like motherfucking 30 samples for a song and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But Brothers Gotta Work It Out is definitely one of the most genius uses of a sample I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And the way how the Bomb Squad chopped off the guitar solo in the outro of "Let's Go Crazy," and you know that I love the way how they use that shit. And then once we get to the chorus, and it's like yeah, 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 like, and it's crazy. I had to replay it so many times to catch that shit. I was like, yo,
Hmm.
like, because the Bomb Squad, it's like I love them because they use like so many different samples and different sounds to make a whole wall of sound of music and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And the Prince sample alone was such the Prince sample alone was such a genius usage of a sample I've ever seen in hip hop. Not just in hip hop, but in music history. So that's my number one.
Number one is Mob Deep, the Young Love joint. You know, like you mentioned, sampled "If I Was Your Girlfriend." Should have been released. I don't know on what album though, but you know, definitely one of my favorites. Mob Deep unreleased joints.
Definitely. Yeah, man. That shit to this day, I still bump that Young Love and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. This was a dope list. I actually fuck with this list.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few people in the comments before I head out. Q said, "Which one do you like better, California Love or To Live or Die in L.A.?" I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Q. I'm actually more of a To Live and Die in L.A. fan, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I just love the flow and everything like that too. California Love, I still fuck with California Love. That's always a classic. But To Live and Die in L.A., I mean, just Val Young singing that track alone in the chorus always gets me. So yeah. All right. What about you, Troy?
What about
California Love or To Live and Die in L.A.?
California Love is the biggest song.
True. The original Pac Life's way better than the garbage remix. Oh, I did not like that remix. Like Ashanti, Ti, really, but they couldn't clear that sample. So what do you expect? Ray said, "I never listened to his 2000 stuff, so I can't say my thoughts on that. I love Prince from 80s and 90s stuff. Purple Rain, Love Symbol, hits and B-sides. Yeah, I mean, the 2000s Prince, you're gonna get a lot of mixed bags and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I feel like there's something in it for everybody. Now, the Rainbow Children, I would not start off with that one if you really want to get into these 2000 stuff. So I would listen to maybe like 4 albums deep in the 2000s before you get into that one. And I'm just being honest. Whew. That's the thing with music, man. Always, you might not like one thing 1 minute, but then you might go on here the next minute. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Definitely gotta find some shit. Do you think the song "War" could have fit this album? I never heard the song. You mean "War" from Prince? I never heard that record. Thought you about to say that song "War." What is it good for? Absolutely. That's what I thought you were about to say. You said it's a 24 minutes, a 24-minute song. What the fuck, nigga? That's half an album right there, nigga. That's when once this nigga became a Jehovah's Witness, this nigga was trying to record his own fucking Bible and shit. Wow. Mm. But yeah, I have to hear the song, but I gotta make sure that's like half my afternoon right there. Mm. Yo, this whole McDonald's E. coli shit is crazy.
Hey, don't eat it. Don't eat McDonald's. Why people still eating that shit?
Has it came down to your spot, like yours?
I don't know. I don't eat McDonald's. I wouldn't know.
Mm. E. coli. Shy from Prince. That's my favorite song. 3 Yeah. Oh, I hate you from Prince. That's my joint. That's actually my favorite joint from the Gold Experience. But yeah, I'm gonna end this off right here and everything. Got a few announcements I'm gonna make. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. we're gonna do Cypress Hill's 4 album. You know what I'm saying? An album I have not heard in years, believe it or not. So I definitely can't wait to revisit that album. And then Wednesday we got Linkin Park with Meteor. It's like that's also gonna be at 6 p.m. and shit. And then this Saturday we got Mary J. Blige with the Glorious album, which Jalen's gonna join us for that one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm off. Actually, I get off at 12 p.m. And as of now, my afternoon is free. So, and just in case we stay in for longer than 2 hours and shit, just gotta be prepared and shit.
He ain't gonna do all that, man.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Well, technically,
Jalen is just like, that. Mary's like his idol, so I get it.
yeah. And to be fair, the we did do a double review on No More Drama and Love and Life. To be fair, so that was gonna be a long time and shit. Um, yeah, that MJB album is something else. That's all I'm gonna say. What else? That's all I'm really gonna do this week. I'm just not. I'm really gonna take it easy this week. I might do a random live stream sometime if I'm free. Keyword if I'm free. Because life be life, and that's all I gotta say. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Nope.
Say less. All right. So, in case you guys are just tuning in, we did a review on the Princess Rainbow Children album. Um, I think the reissue is still in print. I think. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna be real with you. I would not. If you're a diehard Prince fan or you trying to get into Prince, I would not start off with this album. You know what I'm saying? It's in a very acquired taste.
Skip it.
But
Skip it. It's not needed. Skip it.
I'm weak. Well, appreciate this try as usual. And I'll see y'all niggas later. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to both channels and follow us. Peace.